gorgeous people of the world. How are you all doing this fine day? Today is very exciting because I'm going to be starting a new reoccurring kind of episode on my channel called 10 Things I Wish I Knew Before ... So basically the ... is to insert before freshman year, before I moved house, before I started a new school. This way I can kind of adapt my episodes to contour to the needs of all of you guys and what you most want to see, and also the things that I have experience with and think that you would like to know. So without further ado, let's get right into 10 things I wish I knew before freshman year of high school. Tip number 1 is don't overdo buying your school supplies. Basically, when you go into school, you want to start off with a pencil case filled of maybe like a pen and a pencil and an eraser, and that's really it. That's all that you need, and then a notebook. And these things are all that you're going to need for the first day, and then your teachers will tell you what they require for the class. Usually on the first day of school they hand out syllabuses. So it will have everything that you need to get, or some classes don't require anything and you can choose what you want to bring for that class. But basically it's a lot easier to go and find out what you need and then go out and buy it, rather than buying tons of different stuff and wasting a lot of money and then not even using any of it, which I have definitely done before. So the easiest thing to do is just to wait and see what your teacher says, and then that night go out and buy the stuff that you need. But even if you don't really want to, I recommend very strongly that you go to orientation. Orientation is usually announced through your parents. They'll give them a call or an email, or sometimes it will be listed on the school's website, or even driving by the school on their little notification board. Some schools have those, some schools don't. But basically, if you go to orientation, you'll get your schedule, you can go get a locker, you can meet your teachers, you can route out all of your classrooms. Third tip is you will get your schedule down. Like, don't worry about it. As I said, when you're going to orientation, you get your schedule. So you want to route out every single class and you want to go visit the class. Sometimes the teachers will be in there, and that's a good opportunity to get on their good side, be like, hi, my name's Elisabeth, how are you? You know, do that whole shebang thing. And that way you will know what classes you are supposed to be going to, and it will just make it a lot easier the first day. So if you're like me and you like to be overly prepared, what I did is I went into the school website and I printed out the map of the whole entire campus, and I routed out where I had to go, and it made everything so much easier. No regrets about that. It's definitely worth the time. I also really recommend having your schedule on you at all times. If you don't have it on your person, then make sure to take a picture of it, but also keep it with you, because I do know a lot of people who lose their phones or forget their phones at home and they don't have a schedule, so they have to go to the office and find out what their schedule is, and it's a big mess. So definitely make sure that you have a schedule on you all the time, and it will just make it a lot easier. So my next tip is kind of a hard hitter for some of you incoming freshmen. Basically, when you start middle school, you make good friends. Going into high school, there's a very high chance that your schedules will all be different. If your high school is very big like mine, there's a very high possibility that you will be separated and you'll have different schedules and different lunches. But that's okay, because meeting new people is the key to high school. Usually, even if you do have the same schedule and lunch and everything the same as them, you probably won't end up being friends with them by the time you graduate. High school is definitely your main time to discover yourself, and it's who you figure out what you want to do with your life, and you figure out who you want to be as a person. And usually people change, or you change, or you just don't line up with what you used to be. So basic truth of it is who you go into high school with won't usually be the people that you come out with. That being said, some people have amazing friendships that stick all the way through high school. That doesn't mean that you have to stop talking to your friends, and that doesn't mean that you have to stop being with your friends, because you really want to stay friends with them. You can make it happen. So freshman year is one of the main times that people go through peer pressure, and they go through trying to fit in, and they are trying to find themselves, and they do all these crazy things. But you have to know who you are, and before going into high school, I really recommend sitting down with yourself and kind of evaluating what your personal goals are and what your morals are, and if you want to do certain stuff or if you don't want to do certain stuff based on what you want to become and who you want to be in life. And that may be a very serious, very hard-hitting thing for a freshman, but if you really want to stay on the right track and you want to become a very, decent person, peer pressure is not the way to go, and you will feel it in the smallest ways and the biggest ways during high school, especially freshman year, because upperclassmen are they're very distracting, they're very tempting, and there's a cat behind me. But basically, you just have to not give in to that peer pressure. You have to be yourself, you have to stay strong, and you have to know what you want and know what the end goal is, and that way you can accomplish that. So with all of that being said, my next tip is that your reputation in freshman year usually goes on throughout the whole entire high school. So if you want to be perceived as a nice person, you want to be perceived as friendly and confident and outgoing, that's who you should try to be freshman year. Just because you're starting a new school, it doesn't mean that you should go be crazy and try out everything, because really, people will remember the things that you do, and people will hold it against you, to be honest, and people do that all the time, and it's just something you have to deal with because people are like that, life is like that. Some of these things can be really small, like remember when you liked that guy, and they're telling you this in like senior year. Trust me, these things come back to haunt you, big or small, it all comes back. I know that you walk through the hallway and you're like, oh my gosh, her shirt is so cute, oh my gosh, her shoes, I want those, like, girl, I get you. All you have to do is say those things out loud. I mean, if they're nice comments, say it out loud. Very simple. And people will be like, oh, like that girl is so sweet. The nicer you are to people, usually the nicer they'll be to you. So basically just give kindness and receive kindness. And that will go on, and people will be like, she's such a sweet person. And then the person they told about you will be sweet to you, and it just kind of goes on. The way you act towards people usually shows who you are as a person, and that kind of impacts the way that other people treat you. So basically, that's all you need to do is know who you want to be and act that way, and that will be your reputation. So one of the biggest things that I wish I knew when I was an incoming freshman is that everybody is going through the exact same thing as you. Usually your classes will be filled with all freshmen, and they'll all be new, and even though some people are a lot more confident and a lot, they're just like really big extroverts, even though they are that, it's okay, because you just have to decide, like, you have to kind of think about it, and you have to be like, okay, I'm gonna go do that really courageous thing right now. And just do it. Just go for it. First day of school, if you're a friend to someone, they're gonna be a friend back to you. Everybody needs a friend. What I do is I kind of scan the room on the first day, and I see the people, and I kind of pick out people. And I'm like, oh, they look interesting. Oh, that girl has the same, like, shirt. I have that shirt. And I'm like, oh, we have the same fashion sense. And I just kind of pick out people that I think would be really cool to make friends with. That's really honestly how most of my friendships start. I just set a goal to be nice to that person. So my next tip is very along those same exact lines, and it's like how you portray yourself and what your confidence shows about you. Basically, first day of school, everyone, you know how they are. They wear their new clothes and all their back to school clothes, they show off. Everybody knows it. Everybody's like, yeah, I'm gonna look really good the first day of school, and then like a week later, they're done. But you should be one of those people who you should dress to reflect your inner personality. Honestly, when I'm dressed nice and when my makeup is done and when I really like what I'm wearing, I feel so confident, and I feel like I can like take on the world, and I can go talk to these people, and even my selfies turn out better when I feel confident. And if that's not weird, I don't know what is, but it's true. I can promise you that. I get like this rush of confidence sometimes, and it just makes my whole person feel better. It just makes me feel a lot better about myself. So what I wrote down for my next tip is basically dress to impress. Dress what reflects you. If you want to wear sweatpants and you want to wear a hoodie, wear a hoodie, wear sweatpants. If that's what makes you comfortable, do that. But for me personally, I like to dress up a little bit. I'm from Europe. I have grown up around people being very fashionable all of my life, and so that's what I'm used to. Like, I don't go to school in sweatpants. It doesn't make me comfortable, and it doesn't make me feel good. It makes me feel sick and tired, and I just want to go home, or I want to go to sleep, and I just feel lazy and sick all day, and I don't like that feeling, and I feel like a bum. I feel like a hobo. But that's just me. If it makes you feel good to wear sweatpants, do it. Because at the end of the day, your levels of confidence are what matter most. And if you can be the best person that you can be in sweatpants, then be that, do that, wear that. It is basically what you want and what comes from the inside of you that counts. I think that was all I have written down for today, and so I hope you enjoyed this video of 10 things I wish I knew before freshman year of high school. If you did, make sure to give it a thumbs up and to comment down below something that you want to see in my next video, which is my sophomore year video. If you guys didn't know, I am a junior in high school, and I'm about to be a senior, which is really exciting. I'm so excited, so I think I should pass on the knowledge to you guys before I forget. If you did like it and you use any of these tips, make sure to tell me. I have a P.O. box down below, and I also have an email. I read my messages on YouTube, and I read my messages on all my social media websites, so I would love it so much if you did write me. It makes me so happy when you guys do. Also, make sure to click the subscribe button so that you can get notified when I do post new videos, which I hope you will. If you're an incoming freshman, I wish you all of the best of luck, and I just want you to know that I'm praying for you and that I know you're going to do awesome. I know you're going to make awesome friends, and I'm just really excited for you because this is a big step. So that's all I have for today. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time on Elisabeth Beauty. Mwah.